plain and simple, but sometimes I think that that's how people should live their lives best, and just to keep it plain and simple. So just to be confident no matter what.
So that be confident rule is an awesome one. I always like to keep short rules in my class as well, because all the other stuff fits in there. So with this be confident, see, I know, but I want you to share. How did you get to, because you can't honestly give a rule if you haven't followed it yourself. So how have you, from whatever age up till now, how have you found your confidence to where you can walk in it boldly?
It's funny that you asked me that, because I just had a conversation with my students in my class about this. Planet Fitness came in, and they are donating a room to the Dayton Boys and Girls Club. And long story short, there was a lady asking the students questions. And she asked the class, what machine is this? And in my head, I said elliptical, but I didn't want to say it out loud because I didn't want to be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could provide her with the answer, and she goes, elliptical. And I said, I should have said it out loud. And my students looked at me, and I took that as a teachable moment, and I didn't want to take away from the lady's time, but I told my students, I said, see, this is a prime example of being confident. I said, I was confident I knew the answer, but not confident enough to say it out loud. Me adhering to my rule is something that I struggle with. I try to be completely transparent with my students and anybody that's in my life. I know that things are hard, and sometimes you cannot see the green part of the grass. You might be stuck in the dirt. But my view is that I think I can stay confident, and I think my confidence is something that wavers, but not to the point where I doubt myself. But I guess I could classify it as hidden confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I walk into a room, I own it. When I take something on, I give my full effort. Regardless if I know the outcome or not, I'm confident with the performance that I have given or the performance that I've put on. So me being confident is within me. People seldomly say that, you're shy unless I'm in one of my observant moods. But I try not to be intimidating. I try not to be that show-off. I try not to be the know-it-all. But in my heart, I know that it's just me being confident. So it's something that I still struggle with. It's within. I don't let others see the wavering in my confidence, because I believe that, the minute you start to show that, people or second-guess you or may think that, this person can't do this or that. But me knowing who I am, and, for the young people that are going to listen to this, once you know who you are and you have a solid idea of who you are and what you want to be, you have to stay confident with that and believe in that. Find those who believe in you so that you can double team it, and then confidence starts to build, and then it'll just become second nature.
I like that term, double team. So if you would permit me, I'm going to take that double team word and build an analogy. All right, so you have the confidence, even if it's quiet, if it's reserved. You have the audacity, the confidence, and the boldness to show up in this game of life. You show up on the court, you got the ball in your hand, and you have recognized who's on your team, to the point to where if the ball is taken or if a play doesn't go right, you can signal to your teammate, someone who has your back, to help you double team your opposer to get the ball back so you can score and win. I would like for you, because this is real lovely, but my name is Miss BJB, and I want for you to give a real nitty-gritty example of what it's like because this is a black man on the phone, what it's like for a black man today, particularly in your own life, what it's like to constantly have to get the ball back, to have to, even if your confidence is okay, if the ball was stolen away, or there was a foul called, or if it was just a bad call in general. What it's like for someone like you, you're pushing through, but what have you had to push through in order to get to the confidence and recognize your team and do your best to always score no matter who's in possession of the ball? Am I making sense?
Yeah, I would say as a black man, probably the hardest thing that I've had to deal with, there's two, and they kind of go hand in hand. One of the hardest things I've had to deal with is the relationship with my father. There comes a point in time where you think that you have everybody on your team, and, you know, everybody may have the same top and bottoms on, and then that one person may decide that they want to wear, you know, a different pair of shoes other than the team shoes. You can trust that that person is still going to, you know, do their part, a part of the team, as a part of the team, until, you know, somebody might steal the ball from me, and you're looking at the person that has the shoes on, or the different pairs of shoes on, to go and, you know, defend and get the ball back. However, in certain instances, that teammate proved not to be a true teammate, but one that only cheers when, you know, you're scoring and they don't really do their part to contribute. So what I mean is that I've struggled with the relationship with my father from a very young age, from him leaving and living in a single-parent household, watching my mother struggle, the death of both my grandparents, both of my mother's parents, and seeing my dad be absent. It was just like, you're supposed to be a part of this team. You dressed up. You seemed as though you were going to, you know, have our back. You know, I'm injured. You need to sub in for me. But instead of subbing, you just watch from the sidelines and, you know, you don't really contribute. Even if it's a 5-on-5 game and I realize that that one teammate isn't on my team, I'm confident enough that my 4-on-5 or 4-on-6 or however many opponents choose to face me and my team, that there's enough confidence, trust, and love within my circle that my team will win. And whatever winning that may be, a win doesn't always have to mean a win. I can lose by 30, but I didn't lose by 31. So just overcoming that obstacle and translating that into my own journey as a father. Myself and my son's mother aren't on the best terms, and things are not seeming to be as how I wanted them to. I always told myself that me watching my dad shoot out on my life meant that, you know, no matter what, I'm going to make sure my family's under one roof all the time, you know, picket fence and all that. But, again, when you realize that certain people may not be on your team, and, you know, I don't say anything, I don't mean any harm, and there's nothing bad that I can say about my son's mother, but things just don't work out sometimes. And you may have a different idea of what the plays should be. I may have a different look on what the plays should be, and we just can't mesh. And that calls for, you know, conflict on the team. Well, if you have conflict with your teammates and you can't resolve that, there's no need to continue to play with that person, because nothing good can come out of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So learning how to take a step back, going to the many coaches that I have in my life, going to as many teammates that I have in my life, and just, you know, having a simple conversation, being confident, and, again, I keep saying it, believing in those who believe in you. And I truly think that you come out on top no matter, you know, what the score may be, because no matter what you may think I've lost, I've won, because as long as I can find something good out of whatever happens, I'm the winner. So learning how to be the father that I want to be, not having a father that I felt like I should have had. God has a plan. I have to trust in that. He wouldn't put me through anything that I cannot bear. And, you know, as funny as it may seem, I think that there's been many of times where I'm like, why are you doing this to me? And then if you hold on and believe and trust those who have your back, the answer may come quicker than you think, or not. And, you know, God is special. God has sent me here for a reason, and I believe in the mission that he set out for me.
Oh yeah. This is why people don't know, but this is why I call you twin. Nobody else would have been able to handle that analogy like you did. Kudos to you.
I love a good analogy, so I was ready for one.
Well, again, there is, and I can say this because it's my show, there is so much more that is going to be produced out of your life. And if you just continue to do what you said, just continue to utilize the power that God has given you to push on. A lot of people that may be listening, see, Ivory's extremely professional. I'm a little more ghetto than he is. And that is okay. We have a really good balance. And I wanted to add on to what you've been saying. I like to put in a little nutshell for the testimonies that are given. And one thing that I keep hearing, in the examples and the wonderful words that he's presented, listeners, is that it does not matter. It does not matter what life throws at you. It is your responsibility and yours alone to find a way to represent yourself and go get what God has for you. That is what I hear. It just, you can take our analogies, you can take his advice, you can take the examples, but what I hear is exactly what I just said. It's up to you. You cannot allow life circumstances, if you get turned around, if somebody betrays you, if things don't work out the way that you thought they would, if you get thrown a curveball, you have to adjust and adapt and be flexible to whatever comes your way. Some things you can control and some things you cannot. But one thing that you must pull out of everything that Ivory has said is that you are the one that is responsible for you. When he was 18, he turned 18, I remember asking him what he thought a man was. And that is the word, it just came to me. The word that he gave me was a man knows how to take care of his responsibilities.
Yep. I remember you asking me that.
And if you've listened to his whole testimony today, it's riddled with that. Life is not always easy, but you still have to take care of your responsibilities. Whether you like it, love it, hate it, or indifferent. You can't just, and I see it everywhere, not just the young people, but in old people too. People just sitting waiting for life to happen. Like it's just going, well, this, my life I haven't become a real estate agent yet, because I'm trying to get, you trying to get what? Did you go find out the information? What it takes to be a real estate agent? Have you applied for classes? Did you find a way to get some money to get the books? Like, people have too many excuses. And if you listen to Ivory's testimony, he's had several opportunities to use an excuse, and he hasn't used one. And if he can do it, then you can do it. You know what I mean? So I like to throw my 2, 5, 7 cents in, and that is my, that's my money on the table in regards to what you've shared today, because I feel like that's what people, it's too many people making excuses. Ivory, they make too many excuses. Way too many excuses. But let's do what Ivory has said. Identify who's actually on your team and be confident, push through. Remember that God don't put more on you than you can bear. And handle your responsibilities. Is there anything you'd like to add, Mr. Kennedy?
One last thing that I would say is just that you have to know that whether you talk to somebody every day, and I'd like to use our relationship as an example, whether you talk to somebody every day, whether that person is involved in your life on a consistent basis, whether you haven't spoken in a few days, months, or however long it's been, if those that are on your team and support you, then a conversation should be able to be picked up as if I spoke to you 5 seconds ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that a lot of the youth are experiencing friendships that are very temporary. This society is very temporary. It's hot for the moment. My challenge to everybody, whoever, comes across this, and, no matter what stage in life you are in, evaluate that. What's temporary in your life, and what do you know is solid? I know that, if I call you 50 times, that I'm going to get an answer, and my troubles or whatever I'm coming to you for, you'll help me out of. And like